it's a digital race. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Scalping seconds, slicing fast. Ride the wave, don't let it pass. Green and red, they set the tone. Win or lose, I'm in the zone. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Yeah. This money machine. Yeah, this money machine. Yeah. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling proud. Money machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Eyes locked on the glowing screen. Numbers flash like a fever dream. Shots align like stars in space. Fingers twitch, it's a digital race. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Scalping seconds, slicing fast. Ride the wave, don't let it pass. Green and red, they set the tone. Win or lose, I'm in the zone. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Pivots turn,
Hey guys, good evening. How's everybody doing? Post FOMC, I got so much cool stuff I want to show you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing? I just traded, I just took trade on NAS and a trade on Dow. I'm going to explain to you why. I took a trade on gold earlier before I went live, actually on my futures account, which worked perfectly. I'm going to explain to you a really, really cool realization I had that, hey, Brittany, how are you? So good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Asia. We trade CFDs. We're trading NAS CFDs for our friends at ACAP in Australia. If you are not a US citizen, if you are not an Australian citizen or a UK citizen, I know it's a lot of knots, but if you're not one of those and you come from anywhere else in the world, you can have everything that I show you for no money whatsoever. Just a small $500 deposit to them, and you guys get my risk control tool, which gives you instant stops and instant targets that you can control yourself, and which you guys can see me using all the time, as well as the indicator, which is on MT5 and MT4. That is the exact same indicator that we have on TradingView. So I'm going to use TradingView because obviously it's a much prettier platform to showcase the concept. And then we're going to use, of course, ACAP MetaTrader to execute it for you. Can you guys see the MetaTrader pretty well? I don't want to make the screen super big. This is a super wide monitor. I think this is pretty good for you guys. Like you can actually see my positions and everything else on MetaTrader like this. It's big enough, right? That's, if you need me to get larger, I can, what is it? Is it Windows Plus? Let me see. Yeah, it's Windows Plus. I can use the magnifier on this. If you guys want to see it, but I'm happy to. Guys, shut up. Shut up! I gotta control the dogs. You want me to go full screen? Full screen, or is this good enough? Because if I do it this way, you guys can actually see the trading view much better, and you can just see the execution. I mean, honestly, MT5 is not designed to be streamed. It's the world's ugliest platform. It's there to be traded, right? If we want pretty charts, we're going to use TradingView, and we're just going to place our trades. I think that's the only way we got to do it, because otherwise it's so aesthetically disgusting that you just basically need to see, hey, I got the tool, I got the chart, this is what I'm doing, but I need to show this to you on TradingView, okay? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to standardize on, because there's not, I just I realized just how freaking horrible. I mean, MetaTrader 5 is written by Russians. It has all the charm of Stalinist architecture. So clearly, but it works like a charm. It'll take 1,000 trades without a single mistake. Hey, welcome, Sandeep. Nice to see you. Who's new in the room here? We have a couple of traders from Nigeria. Where else are we from? Where else is everybody coming to me from today? So here's what I want to show you. Here's the trick that makes you money all the time. We're going to talk a lot about Colombia. Is that Herman or is it German? Herman Garzon Sagamosa. What a great name, man. I wish I had like one of those Spanish multi names, with like 25 different. It's German Garzon Sagamoso. Very cool. I've always wanted to be known as Boris von Schlossberg, but alas, I don't have the Prussian aristocracy behind me, so I cannot be called von. Chile, nice to see you, Pamela. Wow. We've never had anybody from Chile. That's really, really cool. Wow, man. The night brings out the stars. By the way, I think NAS is going to get done What the fuck is NAS? NAS is almost there. Come on, NAS has got to get done. Where's my NAS? I'm almost right there. Here's a cool thing I want to show you. Look at this. At NAS, I can just go close chart, and I can just close Nasdaq by itself. So boom. Let's say it was within like 1/10 of a point of my target. You see, I can hit this close button, close chart button. Let me show you. This actually is worth the magnifier. So this is a tool that I wrote myself. It's a fully tradable EA in MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader 4, and has all these cool buttons. It's a single button entry, exit, stop, target tool, and it has all these other functionalities, including you can close just the chart, which means just the particular instrument, or you can close all your positions. And you can sell half and go to break even, which is something useful for like longer term positions, right? So there's like a million different really cool things. Dustin says he put it on MT4 and it worked really great, which is good to know. That's good to know, Dustin. Yeah, I got to put this on here. Jesus Christ. There we go. The only thing I hate about Windows is like that it's such an awkward program. But anyways, yeah, it works super great, right? Like, are you probably trading it for FX on Oanda, right? Super cool. Ismail from Bangladesh, nice to see you. Country of Texas, that's very nice. Yes, it's definitely a state of mind. British Virgin Islands, wow, very nice, man. We are really, I think we are truly the world today. Really good to have. Brazil, very nice to have you. So here's the thing, guys. I don't trade FX. Don't ask me FX. My partner Kathy trades FX. You can use this tool for FX to your heart's content. As you can see, Dustin uses it because Dustin is an American. So in America, you can only use MetaTrader 5 for FX. Although, actually, guys, I will say this. If you're a U.S. customer, I haven't actually tried this, but I'm 1,000% certain that I can do this. If you have a real account, like if you have a real futures account, because U.S. customers cannot trade CFDs, they can trade futures. My broker, which is AMP Futures, actually has MetaTrader 5, and you can trade futures on MetaTrader 5. I haven't even thought about this, but you could trade this tool on AMP Futures if you're an American. I'll test it myself on my own account. I'll let you guys know. But just letting Americans know, then if you guys want to use this tool, I'm happy. If you become a BK member, I'm happy to give it to you for futures trading as well. So that's really cool. It is the only broker in America that lets you trade MetaTrader 5. So it's nice. I use it. I used to use it all the time. I just haven't traded my own account in ages. But I just realized I could do this in the U.S. as well. But if you're not U.S., this is a Swiss Army tool that you can use anywhere. And this indicator is the exact same indicator as this one. It's obviously not as pretty, but the green arrow is the same thing as the Christmas tree, and the red arrow is the same thing as the Christmas tree. So it's the same kind of a thing. Oh, by the way, this is really cool. I'm really enjoying doing the magnifying glass, because you could really see the granularity, right? You can totally see the granularity of what's going on. All right, we're also, just to show you, we're in US 30 on this like little bullshit little trade. I'm going to show you why I'm in the trade. But what I want to explain to you, let me get out of my magnifying glass before it annoys everybody, is I actually might have a trade in gold before we even do anything. We've got 38 seconds left. I'm going to explain to you that all I'm going to do today, win, lose, or draw, is I'm going to buy every red label I can. And as stupid as that sounds, that has been one of the best, most intelligent trades ever. I'm going to explain to you why. Gold has had a big rally, but I'm still going to take it. We're going to still see if I can make $1 out of this thing. So let's go to my gold. We're going to set this up at 3 stop dollar in. We got about 6 seconds left. You can see that my tool, I'm going to buy this right now. Okay, I'm long this thing now. And wow, they got really badly executed on my part. Jesus Christ. That totally drove down. Okay, bad execution on my part. So not a great fill, but we'll see if this trade lasts. The key point isn't like, whether this trade is gonna make it, or the Nasdaq trade made it. I think the Dow has a reasonable chance to make it. The key point that I wanted to show you is, here's what we do. We trade trend, right? The trend is designed by the 200 period SMA against the 8 period SMA. So in this particular case, it's downtrend. For example, gold now is in a downtrend. I'm probably going to get killed in this trade because I pushed my luck a little too far here. However, and this is the really, really important thing. Both gold and Nasdaq or Dow are essentially long dominant products. They are much more. They resolve much more to the downside than to the upside, which means the following: that when you are in an uptrend, like right now, Nasdaq is an uptrend, right? We bought this little red dip, and it totally paid us on a +5. Gold is gonna kill me here, because gold is actually in a downtrend, and we want to give it a little bit more room before getting adventurous and trying to buy it. But my point being is that what I realized is, yeah, we can buy the greens, which are breakout labels, or we can buy the reds, which are dip labels. The thing about buying the reds is that you get a much better price, and if you're still in an uptrend, you're going to be constantly resolved positively. Just to show you, like, if you were looking at Nasdaq over here all day long, right? Depending on how big your stops are, and depending how you were trading, maybe you lost on this one because it was a final dip. It was the first red. But if you bought this one, you made money. If you bought this one, you made money. If you bought this one, you made money. Buying the red is a better value proposition than buying the green. It doesn't mean that the green doesn't work. And there's some really great setups for when green does work, but green works best only at the beginning of the trend. So for example, the single best high quality, high probability trade is when you have the moving averages break through to a new trend, right? Positive trend. And the second, not the first, but the second green label. This case, the reason why it's orange is because it's a high volatility breakout, but it's an upside candle. It's the same thing as this. It's just warning you that this is a big candle, so you need to have wider stops. That's all it is. This is the money trade to the long side. But in the meantime, all these trades are money trades to the dip side. That's what makes it so interesting and so unique. So like if we look, for example, at US 30, right? So we should have bought at 144. Actually, yeah, I should have. I bought badly here because I was trying to kind of. Let me see what I'm doing here. Looks like the gold, by the way, took us out. But on the US 30 over here, I should have bought. No, I should. Even if I bought here, I wouldn't have been able to get a good fill. And that's fine. You can't win on every single dip. But if I bought here, that was great. One of the reasons, by the way, why this red trade, the second red trade, is not working is because we had a huge rally. Generally, when you have a small rally and a dip and a small rally, it's a much better entry. So my execution is not great today because I'm trying to show you the idea. And of course, the market isn't going to give me the perfect setup to show you the idea. But the principle of the idea is a much more valuable structure than whether I'm going to make or lose on one particular trade. I mean, these are all tiny trades anyways. The key thing that I kind of want to share, to kind of expose your eyes to, because we're always trying to buy the breakouts, which is okay, but buying the dips is actually a better trade. If you believe, as I do, that both of these products, this product, and the Nasdaq product, are long bias products, 3 out of 4 trades you should be making are to the long side. The only trade that you should be making to the short side is when you have a new trend and you have a second sell label, like the beginning of a sell trend. Then you have the right, a good idea to do momentum to the downside. Otherwise, those are not high probability trades. So the only other caveat to this whole setup that is really, really interesting is, so like right now I got clipped out, fine. I got clipped out of US 30, for example. I got clipped out of gold. I cannot do a red buy until I see a green label print. So you need to have some buying power and then some selling power. Only after the buying power has printed can you buy the selling power. You'll see it as it kind of develops, but I can show it to you on the charts basically. So in this particular case, in this case, every single red label you can buy because it's preceding by a green label. But I'm trying to find, okay, here's a, okay, you can buy this red label, right? You can buy this red label because it's preceded by a green label over here. You buy it, you make money, but you can't buy this one because there's no green label. And it's, and you can't buy this one because there's no green label. You can't buy this one because there's no green label. Only here can you start buying it because you now have some evidence of green. You need evidence of green in order to be able to buy the red, to kind of put it, to put it mildly. Now, here's what's going on with gold, which is kind of interesting. This is not the beginning of a new trend, but it's practically a beginning of a new trend because the moving averages have come together and now starting to separate. So the beginning of a trend is when moving averages begin to separate. So if you sort of go on this premise, that means you can have some confidence that if you have a second red label here, we could give it a shot and try to sell it. So like, we've got a minute left here in gold. As a matter of fact, we can switch over to over here. It's interesting. How come I'm not? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at US 30. This is a US 30. No. What's going on over here? Gold spot. Why is? Wow, that's weird. What's going on with my? Oh, wow. Look at that. This is so interesting. Huh. There's no red arrow in here because MetaTrader has this as a green arrow, not a red arrow. That's so interesting. Anyways, we're going to take a cue from TradingView, and we're going to sell this. We're going to sell this. We got 8 seconds left. MetaTrader is always, going to have some funky executions. So we're going to take this trade, and the trade, basically our trade here, following our I'm going to follow a momentum trade structure here, is we're short gold at 65, targeting 64.18, right? So that's where we're at. I can't bring this up. Ugh, God, I fucking hate this platform so much. I love to trade on it. I absolutely hate showing on it. Why can't I get the? Here we go. Okay, there we go. So target is going to be 64.18, right? And actually, let me just show you. So here's the magnifying glass, and here's what I want to show you again. You can hit the closed chart because really I want to show you the flexibility of this tool. Closed chart, and gold is gone. I booked a little bit of profit. Again, my point isn't to make as much money tonight as possible, as to actually show you the setups so you can make as much money as possible when you have trading. Yeah, gold is clearly looking like a negative trade, and this is a good, nice momentum move here. And I actually would have hit our full target here had I held. The point being is, I want to just show you how good the risk control is here. If you wanted to close it within a second, you could do it. There's no way you could have done that as fast and as cleanly and as precisely where you left US 30 open but left gold taken out. It's really, really cool, right? I mean, I hope you guys really like that. It took a while to write this whole thing, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So anyways, okay. So gold trade is done. Gold trade was a classic momentum trade. And I said to you, you can think of it as a beginning of a trend. And when you have a beginning of a trend, the way we want to analyze this thing is, where's this? First one, second one. It's the second red label, that's the money label. That's the momentum label. That's when the waterfall starts to fall. That's when things start to drop. Now we got nothing to do. Now we can just sort of chill out. Gold is coming down 61. US 30 kind of doing nothing. Let's see what Nasdaq is doing. Nasdaq is actually setting up another possible trade for us. So Nasdaq has a red label. Remember, I'm going to buy every red dip I can as long as it's preceded by a green label, right? So I'm basically assuming Nasdaq is positive dip, positive trend, and that this dip is a value at trend opportunity. It's a way for me to buy, to enter my position cheaply if this red label stays in place, right? So we can go to the Nasdaq chart, right? And what is going on here? Wonder why. Oh, I know why. I'm like, why is it not showing? Because I don't have it configured. I'm sorry, guys. My fucking fault. Properties, I want to go both. Show sequence of arrows, show test arrows, show. Wait, why is my... Huh. All right, we're gonna. Oh, I know why. I'm sorry. No, that's even worse. I totally forgot. Cancel. So I'm gonna sell. God damn it. Close. Cancel. I know what I know why. I know why the label wasn't showing. In MetaTrader, I totally forgot. In MetaTrader, the label shows at the end of the candle, whereas in TradingView, the label shows at the beginning of the candle. So that's why I totally forgot. So it does show it. I bet you it showed up in gold too, right? You see it showed up in gold too. It just shows up at the end of the candle. So basically, when we're looking at TradingView, we can forecast ahead of time when this label is going to be out. My apologies. I totally got confused. Dagger, ask your question, okay? You don't need to say you have a question. Just type in your question. I'll answer it, my friend. Yeah, so gold trade worked out beautifully. Very nice, as astrologist. Yes, really good. How do you access this tool, Sandeep? All you need to do is open up an account with our friends at ACAP and deposit $500. No cost to you. Just make it. If you have an account, just transfer an account from another broker or open an account and send me the screenshot, and I will send you the. Just use this QR code that you see on the screen. Or use the code. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to pin the code for you to do this. That's it. Our friends at. Did I say sell? Oh, motherfucker! I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing a million stupid things. Shit. Okay, I got to reset this. Close chart. Fuck me. It's buy. I should have been long. Okay, sorry. I'm sure. I'm trying to do a million different things. I totally forgot. This was a buy, right? I'm going to sell labor. This was a fucking buy. I should have bought this. This already would have made money. All right, let's see if this is going to make us a little bit of money here too. I should have been in on this entry a while back. I'm sorry. I went the wrong way on NASDAQ. I should be long NASDAQ, not short NASDAQ. Because again, what you see is me making money here, me making money here, me making money here, as long as I execute it properly. Sorry about that. I got totally confused trying to do a million different things. That should have been a buy because this is positive trend. We're buying the dip. We're always buying the red label because we had a green label preceding it telling us that there's buying conditions, right? Daggerman, you can ask ChatGPT that question. This is not a place where we talk about HFT. You want to trade? Come trade with me. Otherwise, go talk to ChatGPT. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. The entry would have been at, let's say, 31. and the exit would have been at 36. We would have been able to totally take that trade in Nasdaq. Now it kind of, it's going to have to float a little bit, but let's see if it wants to go a little bit higher. I still feel pretty good about this trade to the upside. Let's take a look at US 30. So it's really interesting. Gold took a hit, but equities pretty much rose in the after session, and they look relatively strong post FOMC. And I think it's because gold is really like, it's not a hit. It took a little bit of a profit taking move. And by the way, as soon as this thing starts printing greens, we're going to go long gold, because I think gold is, as usual, just having a little bit of a sell off, and it's going to start popping back up to the upside. The net message from FOMC was, okay, we're not going to slash rates continue all the way, but we're going to do them gradually. So by the end of the year, you're still going to have 75 basis points less of interest cost, which is very bullish gold and very bullish equities, because that means cost of capital is going to be very, very cheap. Gold is stuck a little bit, right? But Stephen, I don't think we'll see how it plays out. But we could still have, it could just basically doing a test of 360 and just come back up and reestablish the uptrend as the Asia hour continues, right? We'll see how it plays out. Where's my NAS? NAS is coming back up a little bit. I just had a horrible execution on NAS, because I should have been buyer at like 5 points lower, but NAS at least is stabilizing a little bit. The buy on NAS should have been at 30, and probably give it up at 40 if we were trading correctly. Anyways, the structure is really cool. I'm kind of interested in what you guys think about the whole idea of buying the dips, using the red labels as buy signals rather than just simply counter trend signals or momentum signals. It works especially well in an uptrend. I can take you anywhere you want to go in gold on an uptrend, and you will, depending on how, here's gold all day, every day. You don't have that many reds here, but gold is positive bid here, right? So winner over here, right? Winner over here. These are both red labels that you buy. Winner over here. Maybe the first loser over here by 12 noon, but by 12 noon, although I'm not even sure if you bought this 85, 82, was that 85, 82? No, it's only $2. It only goes $2 against you, and it definitely goes back up to $3. So you had 4 winners in a row, and obviously you would not be trading after 12 noon because it was all pre-FOMC work. But even if you were kind of crazy and you took this one, that'd be 4 out of 5 winners, and then this would be 5 out of 6 winners. So whatever you were doing, you were still net positive for the day, just blindly buying the reds in an uptrend in gold. And the story in Nasdaq was even better, and that doesn't even show the possibilities of buying underneath the trend, where buying all of this also worked. Buying here worked, buying here worked, buying here worked. It's actually astounding. I was just shocked at sort of understanding that the dip labels are better, higher probability entries than the momentum labels. Momentum labels are great, but they're really great in a very, very specific setup structure, right? You need a couple of things to really make momentum things work, which is you need a very, very steady, continuous trend, which happens, but doesn't happen consistently. Whereas the dip labels work consistently. That's the key thing. That's the beauty of the structure. So that's really, really cool. All right, gold doing nothing. Where's US 30? US 30 is also US 30 is just stuck in the mud here. coming down. No, nothing clean and clear here. So, we just stick around. Yeah, it does work beautifully. It works great if you want to do kind of like 1 or 2 trades, or if you want to do continuous trading, which is really, really cool. Just a matter of, giving yourself the patience to find the setups. Yeah, Leroy, everybody who trades with me knows that I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So a lot of my lives, I'm just showing you the setups, and obviously, off screen, I'm doing a lot of the trading myself, a lot better because I'm focused. I actually had a really, really interesting FOMC today because those of you guys who traded FOMC with me on the future side. We got clipped on the first 2 trades, which is a lot. Like those are big losses on the first 2 trades. And by the end of it, believe it or not, I was able to get everything back by just doing that, by just buying the red labels in the S&P, buying the red labels in NAS, buying the red labels in gold under the right conditions. Just, buying the reds. It's a very, very communist trade, guys. We're buying the reds, Yeah, it keeps you engaged in the moment. You're right, Or you could sort of tune out. Like the beautiful thing is you don't have to you don't have to do this all the time. You could just come into the chart for an hour. As long as the setups are there, you can trade them with high degree of confidence that they're going to work, All right, markets are kind of we had this huge, nice. First of all, it was really weird Asia Open, right? How many times have you seen Asia Open where the first hour everybody buys? But I guess this was post FOMC. Everything is weird post FOMC. Post FOMC, this is just simply retail flow adjusting itself to the news announcement as everybody in Asia woke up. Now they kind of took it up, and now they got nothing else to do, and they're trying to see where the next wave of buying or selling comes in. And it's pretty clear that we're going to go back to kind of range trading on Asia. But if you guys are trading Asia, what I was going to say to you is, as Asia gets longer and deeper into the session, and the range itself begins to compress, it becomes super, super cool to be able to trade within that narrow range. Like, you guys want to see Nasdaq during Asia trade yesterday, how you could have really, really just cleaned up? Let me show you. So this is all New York time, right? So this is Asia session. Obviously, we went off air like by 9 o'clock. But imagine, you guys are in Asia, and it's like 9 o'clock, right? And you are basically trying to trade the range. What happens in Asia is that the range is really, really tight, very, very narrow. So you have a lot of, especially if you have a green label in front of it, you have a lot of confidence if you buy this for like a 5-point run. You buy it at 274, try to sell it maybe at around 280, somewhere around here. Boom, you're done, right? You're done. You buy again over here at around 273, give it a little bit of a while, and with a 15-point stop, and boom, you're done, right? It takes a while. It takes maybe sometimes 45 minutes to resolve it. But these very low range trades, even if you're in a negative trend, work. But now you go to positive trend, and in positive trend, it becomes even easier. You buy over here against this move, and that's done over here, right? Here you actually get clipped. Fine. After your third or the fourth trade, you lose. Then you come back here. And again, you're sort of like, like sort of positive trade, not over here. You just have a green label here. You bought this 72. No, this one you got clipped again. But here you start buying winner, green label here. You buy here. You can easily survive this move at, this is 60 to 45, comes back up, make the move. Buy here, this move works. Buy here, this move works. And now you're like at 9 o'clock. So, you have like 8, 9 opportunities only truly one bad trade, like genuinely bad trade, where if you bought here, this trade kind of filtered against you and came down. And this wasn't even like a clean trade because of, the moving averages were so pressed. So it works really, really cleanly. Even in Asia trade, because the ranges are so tight that you could kind of make hay with both sides. Gold in the meantime looking negative. If you're trading momentum, you could try to sell this again on the short side. But what my test always shows that the highest probability is this one. Doesn't mean this one won't make money, but it's always the second one in trend on momentum. That's really the best one to trade, right? Also, by the way, this works the other way, which is really, really interesting. This is what I wanted to show you. Those of you guys who are looking for a turn trade, a trade where it goes from negative, let's say it's negative trend, negative momentum, and you want to have, high confidence of a buy, you need 2 greens after a red. That second green, as long as you give it enough room to breathe, that is a great looking reversal trade, right? You can do the same thing in, I'm going to go back in time so you guys can see it. Let me just give an example. I don't have it here. Let me see if I can go back in gold. It's very important. You can see that, if you have like a single green label, it's not strong enough for a reversal. I'm trying to find a quality reversal. Here, I think you have it. Here you have it. It's a very thin one, but you do have 2 green labels in a under trend, in a downtrend, and this does pop up. And you could have made the scalp to the upside. Here's a good example. This is a much better example. This is a really, really strong winning pattern. You're in a downtrend. You're looking for when is a turn really happening? The turn happens here. Where am I? The turn happens here. This is the money trade. You're coming in over here. 9 out of 10 times, this trade is going to work for you. That's why it's and that's what's so cool about this. You can trade it continuously, or you can just trade it in a very, very curated manner. Vasil says it happened at 1900 in gold today. Did it happen in gold? Let me see. Yeah, no, it didn't. See, so no, you're right. It happened over here. It was actually it was like 1800 because you need 2 consecutive green labels. So this happened here. If you had like a $6 stop, which you didn't need a big volatility move, so you need a $6 stop, you would have survived the retrace, and boom, it would have made you money on the run, right? Okay, well, nothing going on here on the equity side. US 30 is diving now, so the US 30 dip trade hasn't worked, and we don't have any more setups here so far. So we're just kind of hanging out. The only thing I have is the Nasdaq trade, which would have worked, but I had a bad execution. So now I'm just floating the Nasdaq trade badly. But now I don't have any signals. Now you have to be just sort of super patient to see a green label, red label structure before you want to come in. Oh, right time, wrong time zone. Yeah. Elgato, we're using the Christmas tree as the dots just tell us the directionality and the intensity of the move. The Christmas tree labels actually tell us the signal. Originally they're designed as a momentum signal. It's a red momentum signal to the downside, green momentum signal to the upside. But that's just the starting point of how you want to interpret the chart. What I'm arguing is, especially if you're in an uptrend, you actually want to use and it's preceded. The critical thing is it's preceded by a green label. This is a bad example. This is like this is not the kind of structure we like to trade. But here, if we are preceded by a green label, the red label, the dip in buying it at the low of the red label is actually a super low risk, high probability trade, right? Really, really great trade for buying the dip most of the time, right? And that's what I'm making the argument for here. It's obviously going to exhaust itself. Eventually, it's going to turn and fall. But if you look at, for example, US 30 over here, from 10 o'clock onward, buying here, winner, right? Not a trade here because there's no green label. Buying here, winner. Buying here doesn't work. Turn down against us. But buying here, another winner. So at very minimum, you're 4 out of 3 in a FOMC day, which was a really, really shitty day. But if you go backwards, another winner, another winner, another winner. So now you're 6 out of 7, and that's how you just pick up the P&L. 7 out of 7, 7 out of 8, right? And all of this is tiny retrace against the move. You're buying here at where 80. What is this? You buying 80? No, 80. It goes down to 52 and comes back up to 90. You totally survive. 10, 30, you fully survive. So every trade here is a good trade. Now, it doesn't mean that the green trades, which are the breakout trades, are not good. It's just that my view is that the red trades are just a tiny bit better in terms of structure. Although I guess, as I'm looking at this, another thing that you can do, like if you want to trade the green labels, you flip the script and you say, okay, if I'm positive trend and I got a red before the green, that's my first breakout label. Maybe that's worthwhile taking it, because if you flip the script here, it certainly works the other way. First green after the red too. So it's not, you can be totally ambidextrous. And if you really, really want to kind of pile on the trades, you could try to trade both. You could buy the dip, and if it makes money, and then you still have a signal in the green, you could double up, and make a double trade. The critical thing is, I guess, just looking at all of this, is the change in flow, right? The change in flow is what really, really creates the great signal. So if you're trading the red, it's kind of buying the dip in the flow. If you're trading the green, it's buying, the fresh breakout wave. But it's got to be the critical thing. If you look at the chart here, is one has got to follow the other. If you want to trade the green, you got to have a red beforehand. If you want to trade the red, you got to have the green beforehand, right? In an uptrend. That's actually the really, really cool part about this, as you're looking at the chart and trying to trade this. So when you have like multiple labels, you really don't have an opportunity here. Yeah, I'm waiting for the gold turn trade too, my friend. But it may take a while. But are you guys following what I'm showing you as far as using the Christmas tree labels to trade one side or the other? It also is really good, because some people really like to trade retraces. They like to buy the dips. Other people really like to trade breakouts. And this is a structure which is optimal for both, as long as you follow the rules. It's pretty cool, actually, right? Super slow though. Nothing going on here. So, any questions? Anything else I can answer for you guys? We'll see if anything sets up in the next 10-15 minutes. But it looks like it's very quiet for what we're looking for, which is that switch of labels and structures. We really don't have anything. I mean, if we get a green label here, we certainly can do a breakout trade too, which is fine. We can go both ways. But right now, it's just all super quiet. I keep this to gold. And you see, by the way, how gold, if you try to sell this label over here, you ran into a buzzsaw. You ran into a lot of support here. You didn't have a lot of downward movement. I don't think you just didn't have enough continuity here to make trend. Now you could dip a little bit further, but that's my point is that the real money trade is the second label here. That was the really great trade. Thank you, Leroy. I'm glad you like it. So what do you guys trade most? Gold? Like, let's do a little poll here while we're chilling. Let's see. I trade most. Choices are going to be gold, NAS, or US 30. We're not gonna talk about forex because we don't really trade forex. I'm actually curious who in the room trades what. If I were to guess, like if I were to make a bet, gold would be number one. Everybody wants to trade gold, and gold is actually really, really good for this too. Like I talked about this. Sorry, I'm just today is really like a horrible example of gold because it's all FOMC day. So I want to try to go maybe to yesterday during U.S. market hours when we have the big, the best liquidity and the best structure. Just kind of look at our. Let me make sure I got gold range. Okay. Just kind of look at how we would have structured this. All right. So here's a good example of like sort of, following our rules with all this stuff. This is US Open, right? We're coming in, trend changes to negative. The first label does work. You would have made money on the first label. But if you follow the rule of like, no, I'm gonna just wait for the second label, this would have been your entry. And it would have been super clean. You had literally no slippage on it whatsoever. You sold 82s, and it goes all the way down to 78. So it was certainly good for $2 scalp, which is what we like to do, right? Really, really, really clean. Then we come back and say we need 2 green labels in a row, and that creates a positive trade. And we go right here, and we take that setup, and it's nice and clean, right? Super, super easy. And then we can say, we're negative trend. We had a green label in front and a red label afterwards. We can take this. Not a lot of continuity, but it's definitely enough for like I think $2, 87 to 86. Here, because you didn't have a lot of volatility, this is a red label, which means you'd be trading this with a $1, $3 target. You could have came in at 87.75, and the low was 86.35. You would have made the dollar move here. You would have still made the dollar move. Then again, you have a green label, right, to go to the upside, and then a red label after that. You could have sold this again. As long as you have that cue, positive flow, negative flow, tap dance, you're able to really pick up a lot of really, really good trades. And so this was what, Tuesday? So this is like Europe, right? And now it's positive flow. So here is another good example. You only buy the first green label because the first green label after the red. If you bought this was money. If you bought this kind of was money, but this one ran out, right? Like the more you push your luck, the less probability there is. So if you just want to trade the highest probability, you trade the first one. This one for sure, hit your target and you made money. If you were trading the other way, if you're trading the dips, you bought this red because you had a prior green, behind it, and you certainly made money. Zero slippage. You bought this at the bottom, boom. So whether you buy the retrace or buy the breakout, the key thing is to focus on the buy. I guess that's my point. You want to you focus on the buy the whole time, unless you're below trend, and then you can start looking for some sell trades. But generally, the whole idea is to have 2 out of 3 trades be on the buy side. Today, by the way, the 2 losing trades I had were both sell trades, right? I tried to sell the trend, and I got killed. All right, where are we here? Dow turning, Nasdaq turning, nothing much. They just sort of consolidating, nothing much going on over here. Yeah, we had some good successful trades on the start. Everything just kind of died out, guys. Sometimes post FOMC can be really, really good. Sometimes it really kind of sucks. Anyways, I'm going to leave it with you. We're obviously one thing I got to say to you guys next week. Not unfortunately, but it's Jewish holidays, Jewish New Year. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we are not trading. Okay. Maybe Wednesday I will be trading. I'm trying to think. Mondays, it's Monday night Rosh Hashanah, Tuesday night Rosh Hashanah. No, Wednesday. I'll trade Wednesday with you guys. I will trade Wednesday night with you guys. But Tuesday night, no trading. Otherwise, come hang out with me in New York tomorrow. We're actually going to start a little bit early in New York, I think, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, because I got to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. And we're going to put a lot of this stuff into play in the early New York session. And in the meantime, if you guys are having fun and hanging out in the Asia session, put that into play there. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you, Wasil. So I will see everybody tomorrow in the morning or next Wednesday for Asia session trade. Don't forget, if you guys like the tools, if you want to get them, just open an account with ACAP or email me, and I'll show you how to do it, and you'll get started. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will see everybody later. Thank you again. Bye-bye.